Hello again. It is I, your friend, Oddrumble. Here today to answer a question that I'm asked very frequently. And the question is why I don't make content like I used to. Well, as you can see, quite evidently in front of you, I have grown quite old. And because I have grown old, I don't see. But the content that I made when I was slightly younger does not necessarily resonate with me anymore. I have changed as a person, and my outlook, my sense of expression, my sense of creation is now my own. It's not based on reacting to someone else's creation. It's creating my own stuff. So I just sort of create my own stuff now, I guess. Um, yeah, I don't feel the need to make content that is based on someone else's creative effort. Whether good or bad, it is pretty irrelevant. But to base my content on reacting to someone else's creation is just I find it very absurd. So yeah, I hope that is. See, I changed as a person. To elucidate you a little more, I changed as a person. Throughout my life, I've changed as a person again and again and again and again, repeatedly. Perhaps that's why I have so many lines on my hands. I have shed my skin and I have been reborn again and again and again and again. I've received the baptism of the fire again and again and again and again. In the last few years, the baptism has been quite something. But yes, I have, as the alchemist, taken all the pain of my life, all the dismay of my life, all my projected, subjective emotions, all my hatred, all my lust, all my greed, taken all my seven sins, let's say, and slowly weeded them out, and hence every area of expression that was tied to those seven sins has also been weeded out, or is in the process of being weeded out, let's say. It's a lifelong process, right? So it's a constant renewal of the mind. A constant renewal of the mind. That's what it is. Uh, it's the baptism of the spirit, where the alchemist takes the pain, the trauma of his life, and all qualities associated with it, all qualities projected from it, takes all of them. It's very difficult to go into keywords because there are too many keywords, right? So just understand that all the qualities that you inherently know are not necessarily good for you. All your projected emotions that you know that are not inherently good for any human interaction. Alright, that intuitive knowing. And yes, and you burn all of your impurities in the furnace and you transform your lead into gold. And you become the alchemist. That is your philosopher's stone. It's a constant process, obviously. So I don't feel the need to make content like I used to because I have grown old, you see. That's the main mudda, that's the main point behind this entire thing. I don't resonate with the content that I made then. I don't necessarily hate the content. I don't necessarily disagree with it either. I think it was made at the right time and it said the right things. And in that frame of mind, I said exactly what needed to be said, and I was completely honest about what I said, though a little pretentious about it. And maybe I still am a little pretentious at times with the way I project some of my things. But still relatively realer than what you would get on most other social media platforms. So this channel shows the evolution of a person. It shows how a person can change with time, with nature, as nature changes. Pardon the interruption from the background. The construction in my neighbor's house has been going on for about a year and a half now. Well, actually, I don't live here much. Anyway, that's another story. So yes, I changed. My content has changed. With nature, I have evolved as nature evolves. One thing dies, and one thing is reborn. There's a constant change that happens to a person. And for that, a person needs to be baptized with the Spirit, which means one should have the ability to understand that all the injustices of your life, all the pain and suffering of your life is predominantly self-afflicted. And it's only a perception of what you see and understand. And people can try to break you, and people can say a lot of things about you. And people may not support you, and people may not love you, and a lot of the traumas that a lot of people come to me with. But it's predominantly, all of it is projected. It's all in the mind. Right? And when you start understanding that these are just shadowy reflections of things that are happening behind the curtain, then you find the entire play very amusing. That's what it is. It's a play. It's a leela. Alright, so be baptized with the Spirit of God, burn in the furnace, and transform your pain, your suffering, into something beautiful. Your projected emotions into something beautiful. Your constant need for self-gratification, looking at the same material over and over again. How can anyone watch the same material over and over again? It's pretty absurd to me. I mean, one day is different from the other day. Then how can you watch the same person again and again, make the same thing again and again, and you find it amusing again and again? It's absurd.